Hey, what's going on everyone? This is iReviews back with another video, and today we're talking about iOS 18.2, another great update from Apple. Now of course we're currently only on the first beta of iOS 18.2 and we have a lot more to go. In the next few weeks we can expect a lot more new features and changes and improvements to this update. But today we're going to talk about some more new features that we have been able to discover on this update, also a confirmed release date for iOS 18.2 and many other things that Apple has changed and improved on iOS 18.2. Now, first of all, before we get into some features, let's talk about Image Playground. So if you're one of those that have installed iOS 18.2, you know that you will have to request to have access to Image Playground and of course Genmoji as well. Now the first few people that did install iOS 18.2 got their access right away. I had to wait for more than a week for it, but it's finally here. So go ahead and open Image Playground on your device. It will require you to stay on the app for a few minutes until it will download some stuff, and then you will have access to Image Playground. Now once you get the access, this is what you will see. You will receive a notification, something like this right here, and then you will be able to go to your settings and tap on Open Image Playground, and from there you will have access to all these new features that are pretty amazing. And now let's talk about some more features that we have been able to discover on iOS 18.2. First of all, we have a great new Mail app. You probably have seen this before, but what you can see here is of course the different categories that Apple has added to the Mail app, and you can swipe like here to go to the all mail and then switch between different categories. But you will also be able to tap the three dots and you can move to the list view, which means that you basically go back to the old layout. So if you don't really like this, then you can go back to the old one at any time you want, even though I believe this is an amazing design and update that Apple has added to the Mail app. Another great design change here on the Mail app is this right here. So when you get a promotion email from a business, you will see this card right there, and it shows you how many promotions and how many messages you have gotten from that particular business. And you will also be able to tap right there and you can show all the messages from that sender, which is really awesome. Now if you tap on the three dots here, you will have also the ability to actually categorize this. So if you go ahead and tap on categorization, you will have this automatically right here, which basically it will detect when it's a promotion or whatever it is, and it will put it on its own category, or you can go ahead and change its category directly from here. Now this right here is another change on the Mail app. So when you get an email on your primary inbox and it basically is on another category, so you will have it on two different categories. So I have this in this case on the primary, but I might have it on the promotions or anything else as well. Now if I have this on two different categories, the same message from the same sender, then I get this new button called clear. So I tap it, it will clear it from this category and just keep it on the other one. A really interesting change here with iOS 18.2, if you go to settings and then you go to sounds and haptics and scroll down here, we have here volume limit for built-in speakers. So you can limit the volume of your speakers on your iPhone. Go right here, limit maximum volume, and you can set the limit of the maximum volume from 20% to 90%. So if you don't want any time your iPhone to go above that, you can now of course limit that. Now this would be very useful if maybe you want to lend your iPhone to someone and you just want to have that limit so it doesn't damage your speakers, or you just want to have that limit. You can enable it now from here. Moving on to Safari, and with Safari this is an amazing change here, you know, the ability to hide distracting items. So when you enable this, you will have the items here. Now previously, this is the change here, previously if you would enable this, you wouldn't be able to scroll, so you would have to disable this and then scroll right down here. But now even if I have that enabled, I can still scroll here. If I want to hide this, I can hide it, or I can scroll down or up and hide the other ones. Previously had to get out of this menu just in order to scroll away. Moving on to Safari, so go to settings and go to apps, then go to Safari. You will have here a new option, not secure connection warning. So when your visiting a website with Safari and the connection is not secured, then Safari will give you a pop-up and just basically letting you know that your connection with that website is not secured. The podcast app has also gotten a great update here with categories. So now when you go to your library, you will find here categories. It will show you different categories, of course, for your podcast. So you will have here business, health and fitness, of course, self-improvements, all the kind of like different categories of podcasts based, of course, on the podcast that you're listening to. Now what you will have here is also a play button, which just lets you start playing from that category right away. Or if you go to one of these, you will also have right there add favorite categories, so you can favorite any category you want directly from there. You will have them, of course, pinned at the top. On the App Store app, when you go to Arcade, you will see here a ton of game previews, but when you tap on all game, you can go ahead and filter this and just go ahead and from here remove the game previews. So you'll have game previews right there, and you can filter this anytime you want. You deselect that, and what's really cool is that it will actually be saved, so you don't need to do that every time you go to browse here. It will stay like that as long as you don't change it. And on the Stocks app, you will now be able to see pre-market prices. So you can see right here at close, and then we also have the pre-market price for any of the stocks that you're following. Now with these updates of iOS 18, it's really impressive, all the cool new features, the AI features and all that. But what's really impressive is how much they're actually improving on performance. And you can see this score right here. We are on iOS 18.2. and that's beta 1, and this is the best score I ever got on any iOS version on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This was the previous best. This was on 18.1, the final release, and you can see the difference here. So the single core score right there at 2,944 with 18.1 final release, and with beta 1 of iOS 18.2 we have 2,970, and we have a 7,402 point score right there on the multi-core score. Almost 50 point improvements here in comparison to iOS 18.1, the final release. This is a great performance, a great job by Apple on these updates of iOS 18.2. And the battery life is also not that bad. You will have to keep in mind that this is beta 1, and we have all the new features, the AI features, which do consume a ton of battery, but we still have a decent battery life. Like right here, you can see we're at about 80% battery right there, 11 hours 1 minute. Then we have here 8 hours 41 minutes with 100% battery, 75% battery, 6 hours 21 minutes, and right here 7 hours with about 90% battery. So it's really great, and you'll have to keep in mind that this battery is at 91% battery health. So again, the battery life is actually quite decent. And now let's talk about the next releases. Now before we talk about the final release, let's talk about beta 2, which most likely will be released on November 4th, this Monday. That's most likely that will be the day that Apple releases the second beta of iOS 18.2. And I would actually expect Apple to go to another beta the next week after that. Most likely they will move to a weekly schedule, as we're expecting iOS 18.2 to be released in December. According to Apple, the new Apple Intelligence features are coming in December, so we know that before the holidays they will most likely release this software to the public, and I'm expecting it to be December 16th. That should be the date that Apple will release the new iOS 18.2 to the public. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. This is iOS 18.2. Again, a great update, a ton of new features, amazing performance, and good battery life as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button, and I'll see you on the next one.